Hello everybody and welcome back to the Jazzman Show. This is episode number 3 coming to you from my kitchen studio. And first off, I want to thank everybody for coming out last night to the Second Chance Saloon. We had a great time last night. I've got an interview with Frank James a little later on in this show. But again, just thanks to everybody for coming out. I've also got Sandy Bernstein's provided me with a bunch of the pictures, still pictures of the comics as they were performing. And also, I want to give you a list of the places that Sandy is going to be this week, because I think she's performing every day this week. She's kind of a workhorse out there, and a very funny lady. So anyhow, let's go ahead and start this show off with the weird story that I found on the internet earlier today. There was a woman out in Montana who was about to throw away her Powerball ticket because she only matched 5 of the 6 winning lottery numbers. And before she did that, she told her brother, and her brother was like, hey, wait a second, I think there's still some money you could have won on that one. So they did a little research, and yes, she did win $50,000. That would have been brutal. Throw away $50,000. Hell, I'm upset when I throw away $5. And I'm very excited if I should find $5. But anyhow, that's one of kind of the reasons why I'm poor too. See, I had 6 out of 6 on the Powerball recently, but I didn't know how the game works, so I just kind of chucked it. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm a poor guy. But at least I've got this studio, right? Anyhow, so on to the weekend box office. Okay, now some of these stories are going to be kind of what we expected. Some of the things, not so much expected. Okay, in its debut week, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's domestically, now these numbers are all domestic. Its budget was $90 million, and its first week it made $35,400,000. So it's a third of the way there just in its debut week. Number 2, of course, is the Clint Eastwood movie The Mule, starring and directed by Clint Eastwood, bringing in a very, very respectable $17 million based on a budget of $50 million. Now, in the third place position, after 6 weeks, is The Grinch. The Grinch had a budget of $75 million. It brought in $11,500,000 this weekend. That was just this weekend, but it's got a grand total of, over the 6 weeks, $239 million. So the people there and the Grinch studios are pretty happy this year. And in fourth place, after the 4 weeks, is Ralph Breaks the Internet, bringing in $9,589,000. Its budget was $174 million, and it's already amassed $155 million. Let's see here. Yes, the budget was actually the budget on Ralph Breaks the Internet was $175 million. Let's see. Yes, and it's already brought in 155. That's just domestic. You know, overseas it's probably already killing over there. Now the big story is Peter Jackson's Mortal Engines. Okay, this movie was made for $100 million. Peter Jackson, as you know, is the director, the Oscar-winning director of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Anyhow, Mortal Engines brought in a dismal $7,500,000 for its opening weekend. And you know, the way the movie theaters work is this: if you make $7,500,000 your first week, normally you're going to fall by about 50% the second week. So in this case, Mortal Engines has lost already almost $93 million. Can you imagine being the guy that goes into the boss's office on Monday morning and said, sorry boss, I lost you $93 million and it's not getting any better. They may recoup some of the money later on, but you know, this is the gamble you play when you're in Hollywood. Okay, so that is the weekend box office as it is. Let's see what happens next week, because like I said, we've got on December 21st, we've got 2 big openers out there, Bumblebee and Aquaman. And also there was a little bit of cleanup, a little housekeeping I got to do. I had mentioned that Mahershala Ali was in The Mule. He is not in The Mule. He is actually in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. See, that's what happens when I read my notes so quickly that I forget to actually put them in order. Okay, so let's go right here to, let's see, the comments that I've got from, okay, This is from Dan Braswell. This is the comment on my last show. Said, Chaz, much better lighting than your first show. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you, Dan. I really appreciate that. Here's the difference between the second show and the first show was the second show, like today's show, I'm using my Nikon camera, and I'm in the video mode, of course, and I'm recording it. Now, when I did the first show, the lighting was exactly the same. The only thing is I recorded it on my phone. I found that the editing was just, I skipped a part. It takes a little longer to edit now because what I've got to do is I've got to shoot the footage here on my camera. I download it to my phone, then I edit it, and then I upload it to YouTube. In this case, when I did it the first time, I just shot it on my phone, edited it, and posted it. It was very, very quick. But you know what? To get a quality show, I've got to learn from my mistakes, and I want to thank you for the feedback, and I'll continue to do better, hopefully. Okay, let's do this now. Why don't we go ahead and here you go. Here's some footage from last night's show at the Second Chance Saloon. It's a great show put on by Stephen Tracy, and here is a little quick interview with Frank James, and followed by about 3 or 4 minutes of his stand-up. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I'm here with Frank James. Very funny set tonight. Tell me, Frank, what was your favorite joke you told tonight?
My favorite joke I told tonight was the duct tape joke. Yeah, which I would get in trouble with. And
The 3D.
The 3Ds, yes. Do I do the joke?
No, there's
No. What's the 3Ds again? Dinner, drinks, duct tape. It's a really bad joke.
No, it's a great joke.
I love jokes.
Where can we see you again?
Probably right here at Second Chance Saloon in Columbia, Maryland on Sunday at 7 o'clock, and it's always free. So
There we go.
come hang on with Chaz. He's a funny guy too, man. Very funny guy.
Better jewelry than I do. I'm a little bit jealous of the earring. If you haven't heard him before, you're going to have a great time tonight. Please, everybody, give a warm welcome to Mr. Frank James.
Let's talk more about me. I invented this great way of getting sex on the first date. Great way of getting sex on the first date. I call it the Frankie J 3D method. The 3Ds are dinner, drinks, and duct tape. And guys, you would think that women would be a little nervous when you show them that big roll of duct tape. But you'd be surprised at how cooperative they are, especially after you tase them the first time.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. And now, as promised, I want to give you an update on Sandy Bernstein, where she's going to be this week. Okay, Sandy Bernstein is going to be at Sizzle in White Marsh tonight. That's today's December the 17th. Tomorrow, she's out in D.C. at Tuesday she's out in DC at Desperados Burgers and Bars. On Wednesday she's going to be at Malloy's Irish Pub in Gambrills, and then on Thursday and Friday she's going to be at the fire station in Silver Spring, and then, man, she's a workhorse, she's going to be at the Beer Baron in Washington, D.C. on December the 22nd. And these shows are all respectively 7 to 9 p.m. I hope you go out there and see. Sandy's a great lady, and I hope you have a fun time watching her. Okay, now let's go with this right here. I got a comment the other day about the flicks on the Netflix, the shows that I binge. And I had suggested that you, actually I agreed with one of the emailers about the show Shameless. Well, let me tell you another couple of my favorite shows on Netflix. Get Shorty is one of my favorites. Now, what I did was I watched the first season on Netflix, and then I switched over for a free trial on Epix, and I watched the second season. Now, this stars Chris O'Dowd and Ray Romano. It is a TV series that was based on the Get Shorty movie, of course, which is based on the book. But anyhow, you won't find John Travolta in this series again. But this is about a guy, Chris O'Dowd, who is the lead character. He's a thug hitman for a casino operator in Las Vegas, and somehow he stumbles upon a script that he wants to get produced at the movie theater or the movie companies, and the trials there. Now he balances out his family life and with his daughter, who is Shorty, by the way. He balances out the life with his daughter, and of course he balances out his other job, which is as the thug hitman for the casino operator. Here's just a guy who, you know, I know it's a big expansion on what people do, but basically it's like any other guy who wants to do well for their family. He just happens to be in a bad situation with the first job he chose as a thug and a hitman. But, you know, the show does follow up quite well. Now, his buddy there, the Mormon character, I think you're going to love him. He has a nice little interaction with Ray Romano's secretary. Keep your eyes out for that. That's a great combination right there, because talk about fish out of water. Anyhow, the next thing I binged on Netflix, and you can get right now, is 7 seasons of Mad Men. You really can't go wrong with Jon Hamm. He's got 7 seasons there. You'll see him go from humble beginnings on to where he is really quite wealthy, and you'll see just exactly how things happened in the 60s in the ad agency, and that's actually where the name of the story comes from. These guys were Madison Avenue ad men, Mad Men, and you'll see their rise and climb through archival footage and things that are happening in history. They actually interplay this quite well. You'll enjoy this quite a bit. Okay, let's see. That about rounds it out. I hope you enjoy these next few pictures of the comics from last night at Second Chance Saloon. Guys, I really enjoyed doing this, but I'd like you to go ahead and keep me going here. So at the end of this video, hit like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and we will see you again next time. Until then, I'm the Chaz Man. Bye-bye.